it takes a little bit of time. I take my glasses off, probably. It's not very complete.
I was going to put the price on there.
I need to post a link, though. How do I do a link? My channel. Share. Copy link. Need to go to Instagram.
Your story or?
I put my story. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There it is. Hey, what's going on, guys? Give me a second. I'm doing the usual. Put it on Instagram via my old iPhone. I'm gonna make that red. We're gonna make this blue. Okay. Hey, so let's give it like another 20 seconds or like a minute, and then we'll get rolling. So I can make sure I get this out so it makes sense. And then we'll get started on questions. I've got Instagram questions. I've got questions from you folks. We can go through some creepy Instagram questions. Some really creepy ones. Pardon me. You know what? I'm going to like my own live stream. Oh, I can't. That sucks. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with questions in the stream. Thanks for joining. We are going to, like we always talk about, we're doing once every week, one every Thursday. I kind of did a poll last week to see if it was better if we did one like something smaller on Thursday and then something smaller on Sunday. So I kind of split between my rest days. But I think the overarching kind of consensus of the poll was let's just do a long one on Thursdays, which is fine. I've got some coffee that I don't have any creamer in, and I like a lot of creamer in my coffee, not like a real man. And so we are drinking that, and we're going to answer some questions. All right, so first up, Jack Molenbach. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm here early, so here's a question. Can you do double DT? Yeah, I can do double DT. If there's a time cap, maybe not. I mean, I did double DT. I did double DT at the games, and then I actually did heavy DT at the games. I think I did considerably good at both of them. So come marry them up, and I'm probably sure I'll be okay at it. But good question. Derek Dixon, what do you recommend to get a better engine? Long wads kill me. So yeah, you're looking at increasing your aerobic capacity, your aerobic base. Derek, in no way do I consider myself an expert in the field when it comes to very specific questions like that. There are a lot better experts in the field. For instance, with Brute, you've got Chris Henshaw for aerobic capacity. I know that's mostly, you might think of Chris Henshaw and think of just monostructural work like running, swimming, or rowing. But he is still considered, in my books, an expert in the field when it comes to aerobic capacity containing to long workouts, like say Murph. So my advice, and you can take it or leave it, is when it comes to becoming better at something, you have to practice that, right? Now, I'm not saying, the funny connection people make is Dan Bailey wasn't good at Murph because Dan Bailey is a very fast twitch muscle fiber guy. So what did Dan Bailey do? Dan Bailey did Murph like every week. I think he did Murph Mondays or Murph Wednesdays. It was like some kind of different version of Murph like every week for the whole year. I don't necessarily recommend that, but that's one way of doing it, right? If you're not good at something, for instance, Olympic lifting, or if you're not good at muscle ups, or if you're not good at something, you practice that. And so for getting better at longer workouts, you've got to do longer workouts. I don't recommend doing Murph every week, though. I just want to caveat that. Good question, though, Derek. Adam Davey. Hi, mate. Will you be competing this season? Get it in your Australian accent, mate. Yeah, so I obviously already did Dubai's qualifier, took third, but I can't get out there due to work. So I still obviously plan on doing the Open, which I believe this year they're taking top 20 of the Open, go straight to the games. And so that's obviously the goal. If I happen to do some other sanctioned events, so be it. That'll be really cool. We'll see what will happen. So, yeah, I will be competing this season, mate. Thanks. Adam, thanks for the $5. If you could earn enough money from it, would you quit your job and only do CrossFit, or do you prefer a balance? And that's a really good question. That's a solid question, actually. So, so I have, as most of you don't know, if some of you watch some of the videos, you might know this, but I have a full-time job. I'm a project manager for a web development company that's actually located in Raleigh, North Carolina. And obviously, if you guys know me, I don't live in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I get to work from home or work from where I have Wi-Fi. So a lot of my times I'm working from my house or working from an office here at the gym where I help out at Cobra Command. And so anyways, I have a super awesome blessing of having a job that's very flexible when it allows me to travel, to work out and such. But no, I don't think I would ever probably quit my job and be a full-time athlete. One, because you can't do CrossFit forever, right? So I'm probably, I'm one bad injury, one terrible injury away from always losing the ability to do CrossFit, right? And so if that happens, sponsors would probably pull out, and I don't blame them for it because they sponsor me for CrossFit. And so I lose money in that aspect. And now what am I in the sport to do? So I probably would never quit my job and be a full-time athlete. I don't think in the long run, that's a smart choice. Now some people have a different thing going for them. Some guys some guys are really huge into programming and have large CrossFit gyms and they're able to do that. And that's fine. Like look at Jason Khalipa, like he has a monopoly on multiple gyms that he uses. And that's awesome. It's good for him. That's his job. So when you ask that question, I think quit CrossFit and only train full time. My answer to that is no. It's a good balance too, right? It allows me to still work and contribute to society and at the same time still work out. So super blessed. Thanks for $5, Adam. I appreciate it. It's a good question though, man. All right, now there's a thing where I have to figure out how to get rid of it. Oh shoot, how do I do that? Oh crap. Okay, hold on, guys. We're having technical issues. It's not letting me get rid of Adam's thing, so I'm gonna pull up the live stream on here in the questions. Give me a sec. Oh, now I get to listen to myself on my phone. All right, hold on. Getting back to it. Now I found it. Yeah, Jeff, no Winston tonight. Yeah, he's at home. He's a pain in the arse. Actually, I have a side note. Oh, prepare yourselves. Guest appearance by the Cobra himself, Vince Bertucci. He's our Vince was the gentleman who actually started Cobra Command CrossFit about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago. So I actually was living on the other side of Kansas City. And my wife and I had bought some land and a house down here. And unfortunately, there was no CrossFit gym, within 30 to 40 miles of this place. And Vince, yeah, so not this exact building, but Vince was like, hey, man, I'm going to open a CrossFit gym just so you have a place to train. So this is my friend Vince. He was the sole owner of Cobra Command and now shares a majority ownership with somebody else, Jill. But anyways, that's Vince. He runs our gym. I think he's sitting in here to make sure I don't say anything bad about the gym. Anyway, so no Winston tonight. Instead, I have a guest appearance by Vince, my best looking friend. All right, I'm reading questions off my phone, FYI. What are those bruises on your ribs? Yeah, I have a couple birthmarks. So I got a birthmark here in my ribs, and then I've got a big old white spot on the back of my head. I've always thought it'd be really cool if I shaved my head as per the usual, but let that grow out and had a white ponytail. That would be either really cool or I would get a divorce within 3 months from my wife. So, I don't know if it's really worth it, but I've always thought it'd be cool. Resolute Fitness, just going to say hi. 1 a.m. I need to sleep. Are you coming to America next week? We'd love to get you on my YouTube channel. Hey, Resolute Fitness, just send me a message. I'm sure we can figure something out. How do you make overlays on hey Mikey, how do you make overlays on your workout? So I'm assuming you're talking about the workouts that you like kind of watch, like the daily workouts or even like my macro counters in some of my videos? It's a good question. So I have a gentleman named Omar Pastrana. He's actually, if you watch a video that has those overlays in them, he's always in the description. He has a website and he also has his Instagram handle. He uses the Adobe Suite products. He got a hold of me a couple months ago right when I started my YouTube channel. I was like, hey, this is what I can do for you. I want to work together. And I was like, game on. That's a great idea. And so anyways, yeah, so he does my overlays for me. He's in the description if you ever want to get a hold of him and ask him for some work. He's really awesome to work with. Do you work fully remote for work? Garrett, yeah, I work fully remote. So I've literally traveled to, like, when I was in Spain, I worked from Spain. Of course, the working hours in Spain at the time was like 5 at night till like midnight. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, I work fully remote. Sometimes I go on site, but most of the time I'm remote. Good question though. Do you shave, wax, or laser hair removal? Matthew Sumter. Hey, I've always had short hair. I'm assuming you're talking my chest. You're talking my head. Do I shave, wax, or laser? I don't do either. Honestly, I just kind of pull them out. Like, oh, no one likes a hairy chest, man. Like, I don't like it. So, what music, Corey Bradshaw? What music you listen to when you work out? Depends on who. It depends on who's picking the music that day. If it's Andrew Kiekler, it's always like 90s country, which I'm fine with until we're lifting heavy. I can't lift heavy to 90s country. So, anyways, but good question, Corey. If it's Jake, he always picks who's the guy who's a really good DJ that has the white hat on his head, Marshmallow. Yeah, the guy that doesn't show his face or whatever. Cool, good for him. Peter, what's the blind spot back your head? Birthmark. Good question though. Alan Joyner, when are you gonna snatch heavy? Whenever you decide to do a Metcon fast. Oh, Alan's a good friend, guys. Good. Courtney, will you bring Madison? Or I'm sorry, wow. Will you bring Winston to Madison for the games? If I make it to the games, I probably won't bring my dog. I feel like that would just be an added like stress to be like, oh, now I gotta walk him out and go potty him. Plus, I feel like if I made it to the games and I was walking around Madison, I don't feel like people would flock to take a picture with me. I feel like they would flock to take a picture with my dog, and I would be like, it'd be so terrible to get places. They'd be like, oh my gosh, it's Winston. Let's take a picture with him. So no, I probably won't bring my dog with me. So what's your plans to make it to the games, open or qualifier? How about both? I might do a qualifier before the games. Wow. I might do a qualifier before the open. I don't know yet. It depends on work. I plan on obviously doing the open. It would be idiotic to not do the open in general, unless of course you've already qualified for the games, then kudos to you. But yeah, I plan on making it to the games. My plans yet is first do the open, and then I'm gonna put together a team, me and Winston, and a couple of the other dogs from Homeward Bound movie. If you guys remember those dogs, what was the dog's name from Homeward Bound? Yeah, Chase. It was Chase. What hill, Kenneth Compton? What hill did you end up running over by when the Snow Creek ran you out? Yeah, so quick story. We've got go figure. We have a place you can go skiing in Kansas, right? I know you're thinking to yourself, Kansas is really flat, isn't it? And it is, unless it's really next to the Missouri River. And so we've got a ski resort right down the road from us called Snow Creek. And so every summer, someone from my gym always qualifies to the games, whether it's myself or whether it was Zach back in the day, or whether it's Ellie Kersetter, the teenage athlete. So we're always taking some athletes up the hill, and we go essentially hit lactic threshold sprints, sandbag sprints, workouts, running up the hill, thrusters, running up the hill, whatever you name it, we've done it. And so last time we went there was on July 4th, Independence Day. It's actually a past vlog, and we actually got kicked off because there was people on the hill doing some work on 4th of July. Super weird. Anyways, the hill we went to, we actually jumped the fence into a local rock quarry. So don't tell them that. Hopefully they don't watch my videos. Jose Rafael Ciron Zarate. We'll pronounce that right, bro. Digging the name. I love how you have two middle names, or maybe it's two last names. Either way, it's cool. What do you recommend for improving on your strength? Jose, I recommend getting a coach. That's what I recommend. And that's pretty much your best bet. Sometimes you get someone to either watch your film. So sometimes the best way to learn is to have someone critique you, right? That's the best way to learn is have someone critique you and give you constructive criticism. So whether that is in person, like you find someone, whether your coach at the gym is a great Olympic lifting coach, or there's someone down the road who is at a local gym that can critique your form, watch you, perfect. Grab a hold of them and get on a plan, a cycle for it. When I say cycle, I don't mean drugs. I mean like a lifting cycle. The other thing is finding someone online who can do it. I know, for instance, a Brute Strength does the same concept where you can send in lifting videos and they'll critique it using Coach's Eye, which is an app they use to show you bar angle, bar path, and everything, which I've used in the past. And so it's another great way of doing it. But my recommendation is find someone who knows what they're doing, who can coach you, and find a good, reliable program. Hopefully those two are married up together and the coach can provide you both. But that's my best recommendation. Hopefully that helps, Jose. Rookie, I don't know if that's your name, dude. Who's a better shooter, you or Frazier? I don't know. Me? I've never shot with Frazier. I don't know. I'm sure Frazier's pretty decent. He and I tend to shoot about the same amount. Brute Strength. Do I have to eat Cheetos when I troll you, or does it not matter? Or do you have a chip of choice? I mean, if I have to choose a chip, Brute Strength, if I have to eat a chip, what is it? Sun Chips? Sun Chips are legit.
Wait, the Harvest one?
Yeah, the Harvest Sun Chips. Harvest Sun Chips are primo. But I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I started doing some of those little video clips of me eating hot Cheetos, I kind of became addicted to hot Cheetos for a couple days. I'm not gonna lie, there was a few moments where I was literally eating hot Cheetos and I wasn't even filming it. I was just eating hot Cheetos. And I was like, man, I'm disgusted in myself. Good question. And then I threw the bag away because I didn't have any self-control. Pocket Rocket, what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? I don't really do nutrition. I'm sorry. I don't really, that's not my background. I don't fast at all. I eat a crap ton. If you want to see how much I eat, I've got some videos in my past. I do not fast. Pocket, it's a company. Pocket Rocket's an actual company. Yeah. Do you think you'll do a collab with Juju Moof? I don't know who that is. Going for it. I don't know who that is, so I'm sorry. Or Tom. I don't know. Does Tom have a last name? All right. Sorry, guys. I'm looking through questions. Hold on. There's a lot of them. Yeah, guys, if you can't tell, I'm stuffed up. I didn't work out a whole lot yesterday. And today, I took a lot of naps with my dog. It's the best way of getting over sickness is cuddling with your dog, taking naps with him. Oh, Britt, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm going through all these. It's very hard for me to see all these. Britt, thanks for the tip. Favorite Marvel movie? How tall are you? Why are you so handsome? No, they're both called questions. Favorite Marvel movie? So I didn't actually grow up reading I didn't actually grow up reading Marvel comics. So I'm not your prototypical Marvel geek. I actually grew up reading Star Wars books and Hardy Boys. And to this day, I still read Star Wars books. I love reading. I read all sorts of stuff at night. But favorite Marvel movie? Actually, last night I watched the Ant-Man and the Wasp. And if I had to give an answer, I would say that's the worst Marvel movie I've watched. That helps. How tall are you? I am 5'7.5". Proud of it. Here's the thing, guys. You can always get taller using a step stool. You can't get shorter. God bless me with short height. Thanks for the tip, though. I appreciate it. I hope they answer your questions. And to answer your why are you so handsome, it all started way back in the day when my mother met my father. And they had me. And my dad and mom are actually very good looking, too. So kudos to them. What's the great way to improve my bench or my squat? Chase Moore. I don't know. I don't bench that much. I would say the best way to improve your bench or squat is to bench into squat. But usually when it comes to questions like this, I usually say the same thing. Find someone who knows what they're doing. Bench and squat, especially when you say bench and squat. So when you say bench with it, you're looking at more powerlifting movements, right? Because you're combining two of them together. So I would say go find yourself a powerlifting gym around you and hit them up. And I'm sure they are just full of oodles of information pertaining how to get better at bench and squat, because the CrossFitters were kind of notorious for not being good at benching. As you can tell when you watch this year's regionals, what workout was that? What workout was that with all the bench, clean, and deadlifts? Linda. Yeah, Linda, bars of death. Yeah, we're notorious for being not good at bars of death or Linda bench. So, yeah, we're not great at it. So find a powerlifting gym. That's my best advice. Is Andrew going to do any of these qualifiers? Corey Bradshaw. Andrew, I think, is actually done competing. I think he's done. He's actually 30. He had a newborn actually last year during the Open, during 18.2. His son Uriah was born. And so it really messed up the sleep schedule for 18.3. I mean, he was looking rough when he rolled into 18.3, which had all the double unders. But I think he's done competing. Andrew right now is solely focused on being the head coach at our gym, and he also does programming, and then he also helps me out a lot with videos for like our how-to videos. Yeah, so a good question though. Yeah, so I don't think so. He does them with me because they're fun to do alongside me, and I love having him next to me because the dude is still really good. Carlos, will you try to snatch 280 before the year ends? Yes, I will try to snatch 280 for the year ends. Even if I get on film for 5 minutes and I just throw 280 around and it never even goes above my hip, I will definitely give it to you guys. So you guys can all laugh at me. That's totally fine by me. Aiden Lackney. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Have you ever played any sports? Yeah, I grew up playing football, American football. I played all throughout. I tried to play baseball, guys, for a little bit, but kudos to you guys that like playing baseball. But baseball is America's pastime, and it's past its time. It's pretty boring. I hated it. I did not like it. Nah. It wasn't physical enough for me. You couldn't hit anybody. You're running around bases, and you're hitting a little ball. Nah. So I played football, grew up playing football, and I also played in college. I was terrible at playing football in college. I'm not very athletic or very agile compared to a lot of those guys. But I was really fit, and that's when I found CrossFit. God bless finding CrossFit. Mom, thanks for the smiling emoji. Kudos. I think it's because I said my mom and my dad were good looking. That's why I'm handsome. Yeah, mom's in there too. All right, see here. See if I can get some more questions. There we go. Do you drink alcohol? Vitor Hugo Colino Bono. Again, you either have two first names, two middle names, or two last names, but I love it. Yeah, I do not. I think I've literally, in years past, I think I would usually drink, like I would have a couple drinks once a night once a time throughout the whole year. And usually that would be at the end of the games, right? So I get done with the games, and then usually at the after party I'd have a couple drinks, but I'm not talking like I'm getting drunk. I honestly didn't even drink in college, if we're being honest. Just alcohol has never really appealed to me, and so I'd rather just hang out, people have a good time, and it's never appealed to me in general. So I mean, every now and again I'll have a glass of wine with my wife, but no. Good question though. Did you request an invite for Wadapalooza? No, I didn't request an invite from him. No, I just honestly, these workouts, the cool part that I love about all these sanctioned events that I've realized is in years past, like if I would do workouts and post full workouts online or whatever, like people will be like, oh, that's a cool workout. Like I should try that. That's really cool, whatever. But then, everyone come the Open will be doing the same workout. So it's kind of cool. We're all on the same page doing the same workouts. Well, it's kind of reared its head, and now it's happening again because we're all kind of doing the same workouts, right? Like everyone's doing the Wadapalooza workouts or a portion of everyone's doing Dubai. Some people are doing the fitness in Cape Town. So we're all kind of doing the same workouts at some moment in time. And so for me, it's been really cool because I film them all and also talk about them afterwards, like what are my lessons learned from them. because you all are doing them. And so it's cool because we're almost on the same sheet of music, right? Like you're thinking to yourself, man, that's a really cool Wadapalooza workout. Like, I wonder what Heppner could do. Well, Heppner's doing it. Or that's a really cool workout. Like, I wonder if Noah's going to do it. Well, Noah's doing it or something like that, you know? And so it's been really cool to do all these workouts, film them all and put them up because you guys want to watch them. And for me, that's enjoyable to see you guys watch them and comment, you know, whether I missed a rep here or there or whatever, or on my tips related to it because you guys will watch it. And so that's been a really cool concept and lesson learned from all these sanctioned events is we're all kind of on the same sheet of music when it comes to workouts. But no, I did the Wadapalooza workouts because they were there. Why not do them? It's also a good way to test your fitness and see, okay, what kind of holes do I have? Oh, okay, well, I wasn't good at this workout. Well, why was that? Well, because I had a heavy deadlift. Well, okay, maybe I need to work on that before the open rolls around. So you're learning something leading up into the open. And so that's why I did the Wadapalooza workouts. And then when they said it's a 60-minute time cap, I decided I'm going to max that time cap out. I don't care who you are. And so that's why I did it. So my hands actually are still recovering from that. And that was like 2 weeks ago. Thank you, Wadapalooza. Carrie Gillock, any more visits from Craig and Jazz coming up? I usually talk to Craig, message him like, in case you guys don't know, I'm talking about Team Richie. Craig Ritchie. I usually talk to him like once a day about something random. I think he was over in Nako's headquarters this past weekend, and so I was talking to him about that or whatever. But I would love to have him back out. I don't think I'm planning on going anytime to Europe anytime soon, but if they come out to the States, they have a place to stay. My voice cracked. What would your ideal competition workout look like? GHD sit-ups and pistols and handstand push-ups. No jump rope. There's people who are faster at jump rope than me. Okay, and a heavy jump rope. Like a heavy jump rope. Not like, a little heavy. I'm talking like the run from the 2016 CrossFit Games with the Rogue handles. Heavy jump rope. That's what I'm talking about. Good question, though, Jordan. If you only had 1 hour, 1 hour to a 1.5 hour workout a day, what would you try to focus on and improve in CrossFit? Tyson Pittman. That's a good question. Yeah, so for me personally, so actually, that's a good question. At nights, so I might work out in the morning a little bit. If you guys have watched some of the videos I've put up, work out in the morning in my barn, right? Some like monostructural, like warming up the day. I'm not breathing heavy or dying to self, but I'm just getting some stuff done, some skill work. The afternoon's a little longer. And then at night, it usually is only about an hour to an hour and a half. So I can actually tell you what that actually looks like, right? So it usually starts off with some explosive movements, right? So for instance, I put up an Instagram post like, I don't know, a couple days ago and actually detailed everything we did that night. So first thing we did was we did some accelerated eccentric kettlebell swings, right? So hip explosion, right? I'm working on hip extension and explosion because I'm a very slow twitch muscle fiber guy. So I need to garner and create those fast or turn some of them over to fast twitch because I'm so slow sometimes when it comes to Olympic lifting. So usually start off with some priming is I think the correct term. And then we'll get into some lifting, which in that case, after I did some accelerated eccentric kettlebell swings. Holy crap, that's a mouthful. We did some snatching and we worked up heavy for some snatches. We did some pause snatches combined with some snatches for a couple sets, working sets. And then we went heavy. And then we did a heavy back squat and then back squat metcon. So usually at nights, I am priming my body, Olympic lifting, some kind of back squat, front squat, deadlift, lifting right after that. And then I'm hitting a metcon. So that's and that's usually all done in an hour to an hour and a half. I'm talking like 5:30 to 7 o'clock at night. And then I'm done. It's time to eat some dinner and go to bed. Good question though. Ready for Thanksgiving? Yes, I'm ready to eat a lot of turkey smothered in cranberries. We're actually having everybody at my house for Thanksgiving, so I'm stoked. Because personally, I don't like traveling. I like everyone coming to my house because it's my own routine and my own bed. And I don't have to travel with my dog. Jake Flowen, would you ever eat 6 ice cream sandwiches in one sitting? Did that last night. Child's play. All right. You're welcome, Vito. I'm glad I nailed your name. I try. I have a very fluent Spanish background. That's a lie. I don't have a Spanish background. What kind of knee injury did you have, or were you able to get back? Shauna, yeah. So in high school, I completely tore my ACL playing football. Actually, it would be like a week before football season actually starts, so it'd be in August. I completely tore my ACL, and I also had a partial tear in my meniscus. The doctor told me that I could just get surgery on it. I was gonna get surgery regardless, but they told me you can get surgery now, but then you're done for your senior season, and then you got to see if you can find some place to play for college, or you can push through it. We can give you a brace, you can play with it, and at the end of the season, you can get it fixed. So that's what I did. I strapped a brace on, and I played without an ACL and a part of a meniscus, and it was painful, but it was worth it. I had a good time. I was a stubborn, lack of better terms, I was a stubborn mule, if you want to put it that way. So I played without it. It was painful, but it was worth it in the end. But how was I able to get back? Yeah, so they say when you get a torn ACL, they did cadaver. They replaced it with cadaver tendon. They always say that to protect your ACL from re-tearing is to get a good hamstring. So my PT helped me with that, and that's still what I do today is working on my posterior chain because as we all know, I don't have a great posterior chain, and so working on a lot of hamstring work really helps out. But great question. What's a hobby that you have that few people know about? Max Lucas. Oh. We play a lot of board games. That's a good point. We play a lot of board games. So, yeah, we when people come over to our house to hang out, we always pull out a board game. So whether we're playing, we always play Catan. Usually it's Catan, and if it's a bunch of us guys that are really no girls, because the girls like to play long board games, we play Risk. But yeah, we like to play a lot of board games in my house. It's a fun way of just closing out the night, having a good time, and pretty much just cursing at each other and hating each other's guts. But good question. Ryan Rodriguez, does it bother you that people are accusing you of steroids because you backed out of Dubai, CrossFit, DBX, whatever that is? I haven't heard anyone accuse you of steroids. If they want to come test me, come test me. I got tested like a couple months ago. You can come hang out and test me if you want. Here's a real quick thing, Ryan. If I'm taking steroids, then why am I only snatching 240? If that's the case, I need to get some better steroids. Am I right? So I was taking steroids. I want to snatch 280 by now. You're welcome, Max. You asked the question twice. Sorry, guys. Working. Handstand push-ups is interesting choice considering the open. We only have problems with the handstand push-ups this year. What do you think about this new standard? Vito, I think you know my opinion on the standard. It wasn't very well thought out. Anybody who has an anatomy background, and I don't even have an anatomy background, could have told you that. But, things happen. So, what is your 100 GHDs for time? A little over 3 minutes, like 3:05. Do you think CrossFit is moving away from the games to focus just on health? Diego Del Vicio. Hope I pronounced your name right, Diego. Yeah, I think they are. I think Greg Glassman is realizing, honestly, if we're being honest with ourselves, I think one of the things that he noticed was how much money he had to spend in the Latin America region, and that was literally to get one male, one female, and one team qualifier out of there. Like the amount of money he sunk into the Latin American region, and I'm gonna clarify, that's any regional, but like Latin America is a good example because they only got one qualifier from each division. The amount of money sunk there was just not worth it. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, and I think he's probably been thinking that for a while. And I think he realizes that CrossFit can really change the world when it comes to how they're harping on the type, diabetes and all the stuff against Pepsi and cola and all that good stuff. And so I think he's realizing they can really change the world in the health area. And they're not necessarily changing it really in the CrossFit Games area. Now, some people disagree. I would disagree in a little bit of areas. Like I think some people still see the CrossFit Games and think, man, I want to be like that. And so they go out and lose weight and they go to CrossFit because of that. But I'm not in charge. Greg Glassman is in charge, and so he's the decision maker. But anyways, good question though, Diego. It's not Spanish, it's Portuguese. Close enough, man. Close enough. What are you going to ask for Christmas?
You guns. More guns.
Vince says more guns. I don't know. My wife and I are currently looking into buying some land and building our first house and selling the house we live in now. So we're tonight out looking at land. You guys want to buy a house? You guys want to buy my house? I'll even throw my gym in with it. So a shooting range, a gym, that's got everything you need. Anyways, yeah, we're looking at building our first house. Well, building our first house and buying some land. So I don't know. It's not really a priority right now for what I want for Christmas. We're kind of really swamped with looking at land and trying to build our own place. Nerd Stomper. That's a great name. Can you do a video on pistols for how to? Yeah. So right now, the last how to we put up was handstand push-up tutorial. Handstand walking tutorial. And so the next one we have on our list, we didn't get it done this week because we were so busy. I was actually busy doing the qualifiers for Fist of Cape Town and getting those videos out. But the next one we're going to do is actually butterfly pull-ups, or for lack of better terms, dolphin pull-ups. And so we're going to do a how-to on pull-ups of that nature. And so essentially everyone get your Cheetos ready because everyone's going to be pissed about it. But we're going to do a how-to on butterfly pull-ups. And then we might start going into that area. As what we found is we really get a lot of engagement and a lot of people involved in the videos and watching it if it's considered a sexy movement, right? So personally, I think being able to do a good kettlebell swing and being able to move a barbell well when it comes to picking things up, especially a kettlebell swing, is very important for your health. More important than being able to do a pull-up. So, but we did a video on both, and people prefer the sexier movements like muscle-ups, bar muscle-ups, and they prefer to watch how to do a kettlebell swing. So we found that kind of trial and error. And so pistols is definitely on our list. It's just not on our current list, like as of anytime soon. But pull-ups are next. Then we're going to address and go from there. Well, guys, looking at more questions. Give me a second. Young He 08. I have a Lenovo laptop that won't start and keeps an auto repair loop. Period. Next sentence. Do you have tips on how to restore? Hate to break it to you, bro. I'm a project manager. I don't have a degree. My bachelor's, you guys ready for this? Say it again. Mathematics. I do not have a degree in computers.
He's a mathlete, not an athlete.
I'm a mathlete, not an athlete. So I don't have I don't know how Young He take it into a geek shop, whatever they call them, those guys that work on your computers. But good luck with that. First off, don't buy Lenovo. Lenovo. You're from Brian Yazzie. You're from Kansas. So do you cheer for Jayhawks, Wildcats, or Mizzou? Brian, I don't watch sports. Ever since college football and watching film, I do not watch sports. I do not enjoy it. You're gonna hate me, but I think it's a waste of time.
Did you just get a TV?
I just got a TV. No, I've had TV for a while, but I don't watch sports that often. But good question though. If I had to choose, the Chiefs are doing good this year though. The Chiefs. We're 7-1, so maybe I'll watch a game of theirs. I'll watch the Super Bowl when it rolls around. Trey Witt, can you do a video on supplements for non-full-time athletes? Trey, I don't know what you mean by that. Why don't you put what you mean by that in the comments, and I'll answer it once you type it out. Charles Dunn, the handstand walk tutorial helped me actually get my first handstand push-up. Charles, take a video of it, put it on Instagram, and I'll repost it for you. And I'll tag you in it. Make sure you tag me in it, though, because if you don't tag me, I don't see it. But that's awesome, Charles. I'm glad to help. Andrew came up with those drills. Andrew's a mastermind when it comes to getting good drills like that. So, yeah. Yeah. Do you think you'll ever have children? Is my mom still on the chat?
Wait, your mom, she got a
Good question. As of right now, no. Kelly and I'm 28. Kelly's 25 or 26, and so we're pretty young. So, as of right now, I don't know the guys who can have kids and still train for the games. Like, kudos to them. Like guys like Travis Mayer. Like, dude, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, I have a dog, and I'm like, this is the hardest thing in the world. But right now, there are no plans to have a kid or kids. Brandon Callison, any advice for those that live 100 miles away from your nearest box? Brandon, where the crud do you live? Like Anchorage? Where you living, dude? You live 100 miles away from the nearest box. Any advice, home gym or online programming? Oh, home gym and online programming. Yeah, online programming is solid. Like, Comp Train or any of these guys have free online programming. You can't go wrong. Like, they're not going to steer you wrong because their goal is to hook you in their programming, the free programming, in an effort to have you pull in and say, oh, I want to pay a little more and get more specific programming. So it's going to be good. Like, it's going to be solid. So, yeah, get a home gym. That's what I'd recommend. Let me ask you this. Do you guys think it would be beneficial for me to do like a full video on everything I have in my barn gym? I'm not saying that it would be – I'm not saying like, hey, you should always have this equipment for your barn gym. But would it be beneficial to know what I bought and what I think is a priority? If so, comment below. Let me know if it's beneficial. I can do a quick like vlog on what I have in the barn so that you guys can maybe base it off that too.
Bye, YouTube world.
See you, Vince. See you, buddy. Yep. Yeah. Oh, hey. Do you have a key? Can you leave me a key? I don't have a key. I have a different car. Actually, I'll just leave this door and walk back here. Oh.
That door.
All right.
I saw you.
See you, Vince. All right, guys. Ian, do you think teens going straight into CrossFit versus coming from a sports background are at a disadvantage? Are they missing out on something big from something different? Yeah, I think the teenagers that are not doing middle school or high school sports and only doing CrossFit are missing out. I thoroughly enjoyed playing high school sports and middle school sports and making friends of a lifetime there. And I wouldn't trade it for the world, even if to be good at CrossFit. I mean, first of all, there's no money in the CrossFit teenage division, so who cares? I mean, can you still play high school sports like football and train CrossFit? Yeah, you can still do that. But I think you're asking, can you do it like, don't do any high school sports and only do CrossFit? I would say don't do that. Like, that's just not smart. So, for instance, Olivia Kerstetter, who trains with me, actually did that for a couple years, but then recently started up basketball, which I think is important. Now, does she train less CrossFit? Yes. But do I think it's important that she plays basketball and makes other friends and learns other techniques and, learns hand-eye coordination? Then, yeah, I think that's super important down the long run. So, yeah, I would recommend doing high school sports and not doing just CrossFit. Trills for turning upside down. Man, you just got to get upside. You just got to get inverted as much as you can. Yes. Well, that's a whole lot of freaking yeses. Okay. So, yeah, we'll try and do we're going to wrap this up in a couple minutes. But, yeah, I'll try to put together a real quick video of everything I have in my barn. And maybe, here's another good question. A good way to tell you what I think you should put in your barn is to put a cap on money. So let me ask you this. What should a cap be? Are we talking like $5,000, like $4,000? Because if you guys know how much money I have in my barn, you guys would be like, that's a lot of money. So like, for instance, the belt squat machine. You don't want to put a belt squat machine in your garage gym. It's way too much money, takes up way too much space. So let me know how I should do the video. Should it be by money or by how much space you have? I mean, we can do it either way. I could do both ways in the video, to be honest. But let me know in the comments below. Okay, I hope you guys realize when I say I'm gonna have forearm shortening surgery, it's a joke, right? Pretty sure that doesn't exist. It might exist, but I don't think it does. My wife got on my phone one night and made my bio on my Instagram a few months ago, and I never changed it because it's quite hilarious. So it's a joke. I'm not gonna have my forearm shortened. I kind of like it. It works for certain things, but then disadvantages me at other things. Claude, will you ever release your own programming online for others to follow? Possibly. Possibly. So stay tuned. We might. Trey, okay, you messaged me back. So there you go. Good response back. Okay, Trey, you asked the question about will you ever release a video for supplements for non-full-time athletes? In your response, I said, I don't understand that. And you said, supplements for someone that goes to a box 6 days a week for an hour or so, CrossFitting for a healthy wellness only. That is a good question. I might consider that. Yeah, because there are definitely some supplements out there that you would definitely benefit from, but is it worth the money? Probably not. Like if we're talking basics, like the basic things are you hitting is your nutrition on point, right? That's the first thing, right? So most people immediately think, oh, I have to do supplements automatically off the bat. That's not true. Like you should first focus on nutrition, and if you're not getting what you receive, then you start supplementing. That's why the word is called supplementing. So my first goal thing off the top of my head would be, hey, look at a protein, look at a carb product, and then look at make sure you're getting enough greens in your system, and that's what I would usually go with. Trey, for being honest, just the basic stuff. I wouldn't be like, yo, get some creatine, and yo, make sure you're taking this and that. Just focus on the basic stuff. I would say protein and carbs is probably a pretty good start, and water. Cody Stark, what are your macros now versus competition? They're the same. I eat a lot. If you've seen my macro counts, I eat a lot. Who is cooler, Craig or Jasmine? Woo! Woo! I don't know, guys. I like Jazz. I like Jazz a lot. She was really cool to hang out with. She was a blast. And then teaching her to safely operate a firearm for the first time was probably the highlight of my month. Like, she was a little bit scared at first, but I had to walk her through it and tell her, it wasn't go through all the safety of trigger discipline and everything. And by the end of it, she was very safe and very good at it and thoroughly enjoyed it. That was probably the highlight of my weekend with them was teaching her how to safely operate a firearm. So win in Kansas. Space and cookies. Okay, so I'll probably end up doing a video about space. That's a good point. And $3,500, $5,000, I can easily do a video over that. That shouldn't be too hard. Okay, yeah, I can easily do a video on that. No, that's an easy video to do. Cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, I'm gonna make sure I got most of these. You want to see me floss dance to close out the vid, guys? I don't dance. And you know what? I don't know what the floss dance is. Is that like in your teeth? Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't dance. You never see me dance. I don't dance. Go away, Cody. Just go away. Last two questions. If you were a 50-plus CrossFit Masters athlete with a goal of winning the Masters Open, would you approach training differently? Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Like your training should be a lot different. Your body adapts, recovers significantly different than if you were 18. And so training would be a whole lot different. I mean, I would find someone who's very smart in the sport, who has Masters athletes and knows how that works best, because as a 50-year-old athlete, you're not going to be able to train as much as I train in the day without just breaking down and not getting anything from it, not proving. So you should focus on, if probably small, short segments and getting in the most amount you can in that hour and making sure it's the direct benefit. It has a direct benefit. Like you're not just like dabbling in things you don't need to work on. Like you probably need to be very laser focused, I would assume. So, I mean, I would say find someone who has a lot of Masters athletes and then ask them questions, because usually they know what they're doing. Shoot. When you gonna go? I want some more fitness and firearm videos. Yeah, I haven't done a fitness and firearm video in a while. It's they don't go over very well on YouTube, and so I still shoot. I just haven't done it in a while, and it's also getting colder, so it's very hard to do. But yes. Anyways, all right, guys. Well, hey, I'm gonna call it. It's 50 minutes on the dot. So I appreciate everyone sitting here listening to me yak about random things. Again, I'm going to get off this video. This video will go back on my channel, and you can watch it back at your own leisure. You can fast forward through it and skip and just be like, I don't care what he's saying. That's a dumb question. And skip. Kind of the lessons learned from this meeting is I'm going to try and do a video on if I have a limited amount of space, if you have a limited amount of space or a limited amount of income to spend on a garage gym, what would I recommend, knowing that I have a barn gym or garage gym and the money I spent into it. So I'm going to see if I can't maybe knock that out in the next couple weeks. I actually have a competition on Saturday down in Overland Park CrossFit. Down in Overland Park, actually at a Jewish community center. It's for charity, so we're going to go down there and compete with a couple other folks from around the area to actually win $22,000 to give to St. Jude. As some of you might know, I have a younger sister who is 12, who was a leukemia patient at St. Jude. So we're going to be going down there, whooping some tail, taking 22 grand, making everyone regret they even showed up, and taking the money and then giving it straight to St. Jude, because in my mind, there is no better charity than St. Jude when it comes to giving money to, because of the fact that they save children's lives when it comes to cancer, and they saved my sister's life. Without them, I'd only have one more sibling, but luckily I have two, thanks to St. Jude. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. I appreciate everything you guys done. I will see you next week, maybe on Sunday if I'm feeling squirrely, but I appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you later. Thanks again.